Howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, making another video for you on the VW Passat out of Boise, Idaho here. It's been a while since I've posted some video. I had that Kia job, the timing job on the Kia. That job eventually went well. That Kia is running well. I got a good praise report off of it. So out with the old, in with the new, I guess. But this is that VW Passat that I've been working on the timing system. It's the one that the timing gear broke on it, and I had to fix that. It's got a new timing belt, and so now I am servicing the rear timing chain, and I'm gonna attempt to do it by only removing my intake camshaft. I'm gonna kind of show you how I'm gonna do that. I want to show you, just kind of catch you up to snuff on this car. This is the car that had the main crank timing cog, main crank timing gear break on it. You see what happened there? And it boogered up the crankshaft. And so what I did was I bought a new timing gear, and you can kind of see I used the old one for practice. I drilled 3 holes in the new timing gear and drilled straight through into the crankshaft. And then I got some 1/8 of an inch steel dowel pin here, and I cut that and I tapped those in through the timing gear all the way into the crankshaft, and then I JB welded that gear, that main timing gear, to the crankshaft, and it fixed it. We were able to avoid having to change the crankshaft or put a new engine in this thing. We've driven it for close to 100 miles with the way it is, and so now it's time to move forward and get the rest of this engine running correctly, and that's what leads us to the rear timing chain tensioner. There is a code that is associated with it. It is going to be your camshaft sensor code, okay? And so if you pull that code and you change the sensor and you've changed the timing belt on your VW and you're still pulling the code, then go back here and look at the timing chain tensioner and see what you got going on there. As a matter of fact, let me see if I still have the code stored in my computer so I can show it to you. I don't have that code stored anymore. So it's a camshaft sensor code, and if you've serviced the timing belt and the sensor on your VW and you're still pulling code, then go ahead and service the rear timing chain. Now, to do that, you need to remove the valve cover. The best thing to start off with, obviously, is by removing your coils. You also want to remove your spark plugs. You don't have to take them out completely. Just loosen them up completely so that they are out and they're just laying in there. So this way you can turn your engine over, because one of the steps for this process is to turn the engine over to TDC. And you'll know that you've achieved TDC by a few different factors. First of all, you have a notch. Okay, you can see the notch is right here. So you have a notch on your upper timing gear. You're going to turn that over until it matches up with the notch on your valve cover. And here is the example of the notch on your valve cover. So you're just going to turn your engine over until those 2 notches line up. And then to confirm that you have TDC, go ahead and check your camshaft lobes. And this is cylinder number 1 up here. So on cylinder number 1, both of the camshaft lobes should be facing towards the up position at an angle. And so now you know you have TDC. At that point, go ahead and remove your valve cover. It's very straightforward and simple. It's just a bunch of 10mm bolts. You just got to do it with a little bit of finesse, so that way you don't booger anything up. You also want to get your vacuum lines disconnected and kind of pushed out of the way a little bit. And then you can go ahead and start removing your camshaft sensor. That's going to be 2 10mm bolts, and so that is where this video will pick up at. We will start by removing this camshaft sensor. We've already set TDC, already removed the valve cover. Now we're going to go to the camshaft sensor. Then we're going to start working on removing the camshaft. And I think I hear a kiddo calling me. Oh, yeah, I do. Hold on, guys. All right, and I'm back, and I've removed our camshaft position sensor, again, 2 10mm bolts here. Next, we are going to be removing our camshaft and getting all this loosened up, okay? And if you watch some of my previous videos on how to remove a camshaft, you'll know that we start from the inside and we work our way out. Go ahead and have a nice little clean, safe spot, like a box or some place to set your cam caps. Do not lose the order that they came off. They need to go back on in the exact same order that they came off. So I'm gonna go ahead and start focusing on that next. All right, so yeah, I am using a T30 Torx bit, and I'm gonna start right here, okay? Just close to the middle. Actually, I'm gonna start here. And then I'm gonna loosen here, here, here. Then I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna loosen here, 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 and here. Then we're gonna go over here. And we're gonna do the same thing. Then we're gonna go over to this side. We're gonna start as close to the middle as we can, and we're gonna work our way out in order to get the cam caps off. And again, that's a T30 Torx bit. All right, I'm about halfway done. Remember what I said, make sure you put them somewhere safe so that they go back on in the exact same order that they came off. And honestly, try your best not even to mix up the bolts as well. Okay, so it turns out I did need to remove my exhaust cam caps as well. So what I've done is I haven't removed or messed with the tensioner on the timing belt. What I did was I took some nail polish and I marked my timing belt to my gear. I also put a mark on my cam lobe that will match up with my cam cap. So when I button all this back down, put it all back together, if those marks don't line up, then I'm gonna go ahead and take the front end of this car off and redo the timing belt. But that, I'm really trying to avoid doing that. So we're gonna get things cleaned up. As you can see, I got it out and I'm getting ready to install the new tensioner, get everything cleaned up and get it all back together. So let's see what happens here. All right, so as you can see, I was able to be successful in getting it all in without causing any problems. Now, I did have to wrestle it a little bit, getting the gasket to line up properly and getting all this to line up properly. You know, again, I had to wrestle it, and if you have an extra set of hands, you may want to go ahead and just employ them to help you. So, but it can be done this way. Now, as you can see, as I'm starting to put it all back together, I'm paying attention to the marks that I made. My timing belt has not moved at all. Okay, neither has my camshaft. And I have checked down, deep down inside of there, and the timing belt has not come off or come loose off of the crank or anything like that. And the marks that I made before I loosened this camshaft are coming right back together to their original position. So I think we are in good shape to go ahead and finish this job out without having to take the whole front end of this vehicle off.